All right, everyone, we have some disturbing news with the online world here. Link in the description, archived, of course. We desperately need an Internet Bill of Rights. This is something that Donald Trump had optioned, actually, along with reform of Section 230 when he ran for office. I'm really hoping that he gets to this. I realize that there are a lot of other things that you need to talk about. The border, for example. Wars breaking out across the world, tax relief, and so forth. Those are all very meaningful. But for those of us who are part of the tech revolution, and there are many millions of us within the United States, one thing that we really need is the protection of online free speech. And the UK's Online Safety Act unfortunately appears to have metastasized. It's sort of like when you get stage one cancer and you're like, well, it's only stage one. But then you end up at stage three or something like that, and you're like, fuck. That's basically what's happened with the UK's Online Safety Act. It has now metastasized to the point where US sites like YouTube are going to require ID in order to use their services fully. This is going to be a big hit to a lot of content creators with younger audiences, even where they're not actually underage. They might be 20 years old or something like that, but YouTube's algorithm determines that they might be 17, and so it blocks them from watching your content. This is insane, actually, that this is happening, and it shouldn't be. And it's not just YouTube. There are several other US-based sites that are doing this, even though the law was passed in the UK. Well, let me ask you this. Am I a subject of the British royalty? Am I a subject of the crown? The answer, of course, is no. I do not owe any allegiance to the UK. I do not owe any patriotism towards England or anything like that. I have no problem with my English clankers or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. But the government doesn't have any sway over me. It has no legal capabilities to prosecute me for, something that would be against the law in the UK. I can only be prosecuted by the US government or by the state of Vermont, I suppose. And I am at the moment, so that's quite funny. But the UK doesn't have any legal latitude over me. Nonetheless, as a content creator in an international market, you have foreign countries that are passing laws that are disproportionately affecting, because the US is a juggernaut with regards to content creation and things like that, is disproportionately affecting them. This is unacceptable. In my opinion, Donald Trump, because he owes in part his presidency to people online who were literally shitposting for him and making memes for him and things like that, and they did it for free. We're basically like Jannies, I suppose, in that sense. It's just a funny inside joke. Never mind. I would say if I was Donald Trump, lay off the content creators and pressure the British to be like, look, you don't have latitude over the people that are making content in our country. So this is absolute bullshit. And lean on the tech firms too. That's another big thing. You got to realize if you look at the Twitter files and things like that, and what Zuckerberg was saying to Joe Rogan in that interview and things of that nature, it seems like the US government had already been pressuring tech firms to censor US content creators. Now the UK is also going after VPNs. Apparently, there's been a massive surge in interest in VPNs as of this particular change because guess what? People like pornography. They like to see naked people and fucking and stuff like that. It's just a truth. I mean, there's no moral reprehension behind it or anything like that. People fuck. It's just the way that it is. If they're not getting in-person fucking, then they substitute it with, not in-person fucking. That's basically just what they do. They've been doing this for a very long time. Trying to prevent this from happening at the government level is a losing proposition. It's not pragmatic. People will dig out the Playboys. People will look at fucking National Geographic. There are always going to be porn sites and pornographic posts on forums and shit like that. There's no way to prevent it. It makes no sense. And I've been arguing against this for years. You can think whatever the hell you want about pornography. It rots the mind, it rots the soul, it's a sin, it's a terrible thing. Fine, that's great. There's so much of it out there that there's nothing that any government can do to suppress its spread. It doesn't make any sense. To inconvenience the entire creator community as a result of the fact that porn exists on the internet doesn't make sense either. Basically, you've got a situation where they are doing the same thing that we've seen over and over and over again. Think of the children. Oh my God, Jimmy's only 17 and he just saw titties. Well, I mean, Jimmy probably saw titties years ago too, so there's nothing that you can do about it. You're inconveniencing a bunch of adults, people like myself. Like, I don't worry about YouTube's AI determining that I'm under 18 years old. I've got a beard and shit like that, so I don't have to worry about it. But at the same time, there will be people who look maybe younger than they are, and YouTube forces them to submit identification in order to actually participate on the website. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's a big difference between 12-year-old Jimmy over there and this dude who's 19, but he just happens to look young. And YouTube's not going to be able to make that differentiation. The AI system that they're going to employ is not sophisticated enough to actually do that. It's not going to happen. And so what you're really doing is inconveniencing millions and millions of adults across the world at the expense of, yeah, hey, maybe this kid, who is 17 years old is watching something lewd, like, one of those naked dress halls. That's become a meme as well. And I've seen some of those. That's basically the trade-off that you're getting. But really, the only purpose behind it is censorship. The purpose is not think of the kids. The purpose is never think of the kids. Government, when it invokes the concept of protecting children, is almost always lying to you. It's almost always the case that it really just wants to be more authoritarian and it's using kids and kid protection as an excuse. Even though those same governments, I notice, oftentimes throw open the borders so child molesters can come in. Or they, ignore trafficking or something like that. I notice this. I'm a noticer now. Most of you have probably noticed this as well, by the way. So the UK's Online Safety Act, I think, should be blocked by the Trump administration. And it should be made clear that US firms they don't need to go along with that. They shouldn't go along with that. And that US individuals have the right to speak freely, to interact with content freely, and so forth. Because this has just become completely ridiculous at this point. That's about all. Peace out.